Okay, people. So now it's March 10th, 2018. I have my back light on. Hold on a minute. I should probably go turn that off. It makes it a little harder for me to see. I don't know if that made a difference. What would happen if I turned on the light here? Because it's hard for me to type in the dark. Because it does kind of change it though, doesn't it? What do you think? I don't know. Can't really see. I'll use my flashlight maybe. Okay, got a flashlight. Okay. So I said I was going to do this, right? Now, what's happening here, this is just an update, all right, in terms of where I'm going with this. I'm going to do this video right now with the 3 pictures that I've had all along. And I do remember looking at them when I did that memorial for ShaMay, right? Because, you know, we rented a hall and we brought the DJ equipment, and I brought all the drums and the gong and guitars and the bells and all kinds of stuff for the kids to play with, right? And then Paige, who made the string of pictures, and her mother made the poem, you know, it was strung across the gong, actually. It was strung across the gong. So when it was time to get ready to leave, you know, everything was packed up. And everything that was related to ShaMay in the hospital or whatever, you know, Andre's card, whatever, it all got put into that one bag, and then I put it off to the side, and, you know, I was going to do video on it, right? I'm going to read the poem, and so I done the poem now, right? And then, of course, I've been reminded that I have these pictures now. Anyway, that's what we're looking at right now. We're looking at Paige around, it was after the ice caps were taken off. And those ice caps were on for like 2-3 days. Right? And she wanted to paint ShaMay's toenails and maybe shave her legs if need be. Because you have to remember, people, we are being told that ShaMay was alive. Okay? We're into day 3, day 4 of the game here, right? And we're still being told that she's alive and that they're looking after her really, really well because she's really, really sick, right? They didn't explain what the illness was. They just said she was really, really ill or really, really sick. But outside of that, they didn't say, oh, you know, she had this illness or that illness. So anyway, this is a picture that we're looking at. Headache, day 5, people. I'm on day 5 with my headache. I didn't take no Tylenol today, though. Yeah, I think I can just move this. Alright. Oh, this is an arm. This is not a leg. This is ShaMay's arm with Paige painting ShaMay's fingernails. Or, I know she painted her toes. I don't think she painted her fingernails, but she put the rosary that came from ShaMay's room, which actually was Auntie Joan's rosary. Oh my God. Hold on a minute. Canadian Imperial Bank Commerce saying I'm $285 behind on my bill. I don't think so. I should be $200 behind on my bill. Honestly, I don't give a shit anymore, people. Okay, so anyway, let's get back onto this. There we go. So this is her arm. The rosemary came from ShaMay's room. Because when Paige was in there looking for the cell phone initially, which they couldn't find, the girls, right? She came across the rosary. And she went back with Tisha and looking, okay, whatever. And anyway, she came across the rosemary, right? And she brought it to the hospital, and you can see the picture there, right? If you've been watching my videos, you would have seen that video. So, in this case, this is her hand. Because further up on the picture, I don't really want to move too many things. Okay. Up in this area in here, the speaker is in the way. Let's see. Where are we? Where are we? Anyway, I'll do it this way. Right up in... It's in this magnifying glasses. Kind of in the way. It's not picking up. It's right here. Right up in there. I think is ShaMay's head. See that? There's her hair. And there's the beginning of her forehead. And they've got her up, right, like this. And this is her arm with Paige doing something with her hand. Because you can see the bed is like this. Tisha says, come on, Mom, you're not that blind. That can't be ShaMay's leg. That is ShaMay's arm. Okay, which isn't very much. If you notice this, what is this? Anyone know what that is? I don't know what that is. There's tubing that's going across it. You can see, but I don't know what this little doohickey thing is. So anyway, hold on. And we're just going to do it this way for now. And I brought out another magnifying glass that I actually had all along. I didn't even know I had it. I forgot all about it. See how that works? It's actually coming out, for me, clearer, double magnified. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the camera closer. Of course, right? this is the clearest that I've gotten it so far from what I can see through my camera screen. Now, mind you, if we're getting into dancing pixels, which I don't necessarily see until I convert the video. And then, of course, you have to remember it has to go through YouTube's server, and they can downgrade the video as it's being uploaded. Right? But all in all, you get a pretty good idea of what's going on. Go away. I told you to go to your room.
Thought you were done.
I've just started. I have to type for the next 2-3 days, but I'm going to court for Sierra because she's in jail. And she needs to go into some sort of a housing situation. So I'm going to go talk to the judge. Hold on a minute. That's hurting my finger. And I want to move this. Hold on. So I started a petition today, right? And I would like people to sign it, please. That's the camera. Adjusting itself. Oh my. Just wondering what all that stuff is. Okay, so we're not going to spend too much time on this because now what's going to happen over the next 2 to 5 days. I said Friday, but it might have to go over through the weekend. I'm going to continue typing. I'm just going to move this up for now. I am going to continue typing. Before I put this away, I just want to see what happens if I zoom in with it, just the camera itself. Everything produces its own things pick up different. What is that contraption? So now I have my camera right up against my screen. Try to zoom in. I pull back. Oh, see it zooming in. Okay. All right. So, I got a response back from a lawyer to third party, and that was that it would be hard to prove. Now, I don't know if that lawyer is referring to gang stalking or the embalming of a body after it was pillaged of its organs. Right? The illegal embalming of a body after it was pillaged of its organs. Okay, so now we're in Roxy, which is a different program. I was just letting you look at the picture that we're looking at as I started cropping the arm. So I cropped the arm. You can see, right? You can see I've cropped it down now, right? So that automatically enhances the picture because we want to see if there's anything to see. Right? And anyway, I am going to, and whatever I type between now and the next few days, as is, I'm going to forward that to another lawyer that hopefully will pass it on to other lawyers, or maybe one lawyer might be interested in helping. So that's the potential of 2 lawyers, maybe might end up stepping up to the plate. 1 to 2. I'd be happy with 1, but if we get 2, well, then it becomes a power team, right? Because this can affect lawyers like it can anybody, because just because this happened for the purpose of harvesting organs and to cover it up doesn't mean that somebody with lots and lots and lots of money wouldn't be targeted for that money. And if it's that simple to fool people, right, in a hospital setting by hooking up bodies to embalming machines that make people look like they're alive in a hospital, you know, they can simply do that to somebody with money. And then, like I've said in past videos, you know, the patient wakes up in the middle of the night and quickly signs here and quickly signs there, and there's a witness and there's a witness, and then the family shows up the next day, and then they find out that the patient signed away everything and they're out in the dust. Because they're stealing money in hospitals, people. That's what they did with Uncle John. And Uncle John was a small fry. He was just the tip of the iceberg. So even these lawyers could be facing this dilemma themselves if somebody wanted them dead to steal their money. Right? As they fool the family into thinking Dad signed it away. Right? The husband signed it away. So I don't know what kind of contraption that is, but that's definitely a contraption. There's no tubing, nothing. It just seems like something's sticking out. That's made from, I don't know what. Alright. Don't really see much in terms of anything because I kind of already looked outside of. The more I enhance it, I start to see color in here. Right? It's red. I don't know if you can see that right now. Here, I'll zoom in. I see a tinge of red, and I also see. Do I need another book? What can I do? There we go. A little bit in there. You can see it in here. It's kind of red. So how about we zoom in? Oops. So I'm going to be going through all these pictures, videos that I've been doing, and just taking key ones and putting them on a flash drive. Alright. So I started getting more organized. Where's that other magnifying glass? That was kind of worked out pretty good. I don't want, definitely something red there. I have to align. Oh, I have to align this. Right. You can see something on the skin there. Okay. Anyway. So that's basically the same picture. Right. Oops. You can see. Okay. And then we'll go into the hand one. So this one here, I mean, what you can see is no hair, first of all. You can see that. And you can see how the skin is discoloring around it. Right, this one will probably do an exposure on it. Okay. Like I said, Paige seen no hair on ShaMay's body and no hair follicles in terms of, you know, where the hair grows out of. Nothing. She's seen none. On ShaMay's legs, that is. I doubt she was looking for hair on her hands. Alright, this is Auntie Joan's rosemary. And ShaMay had it. And then Paige brought it. What is that? Okay, you can see something there. My paintbrush. Where was it? I lost it. What was I looking at? Where did it go? So I haven't gotten a yes yet that the lawyer will help me. I was just told to get more, like, put more, you know, put it together more, right? Because I'm pleading for help, people. Okay. What we want to look at is something in there. Of course, it flashes the... It flashed... There it is. Do you see that? It flashes the closer we get. Now, I'm going to stay back this far. Try and rest so I don't wiggle. And I'm going to zoom. Clearly, we can see what we just caught. Do you see that right there? Okay, I just noticed it now. I didn't notice it before. I'm going to zoom in. See, zooming doesn't really work. No. Going right in with the camera is better, but when you're getting into a lighter background, that's when the pixels start to dance. Really dance. Clearly see it from here. Now this circle right there is just a little extra magnifying glass, but if you look into that, you can just really see the pixels. But yeah, notice that there. But that's not what I was looking at. I was looking at something else. I seen it. My eyes have been really, really tired. Amari really liked that tuna loaf that I made, or sorry, salmon loaf. He really liked it. And I was telling Tisha, you know, you can actually put more vegetables into the whole mixture itself, right? And different kinds of vegetables. It doesn't have to be celery and onion. It could be something else to bring in more fiber. Like what I'm saying is, instead of using, you know, we'll just say 1.5 cups of breadcrumbs, because the bread itself would be hard for Amari to go through his digestive tract, right? So it's not something that you can feed him a lot like with pasta because of the flour in it, the gumminess, you know, the stickiness. So I could cut back on the breadcrumbs and add in broccoli crowns, for example. Or even carrots. Shredded carrots would work. Okay, I'm talking. I'm not paying attention. Here, let's look at this up here. So, the next time I make it, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring in more, what is it called? More vegetable with less breadcrumbs. And I gave it to him with the mashed peas. Do you see how that discoloration is around that blister? If I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now, we wouldn't see it. But if you notice how fine and just how ghostly, right? Everything else looks, minus that line in there, right? But here you can see that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, we'll see if I can change the exposure on it. It's amazing what you see when you change the exposure. Look how dark that got, people. You see that? Right up in here. See any hair? This is her skin you're looking at. That's probably what I was looking for, because I seen a little dot. That's where that line is. Remember that line I showed you? Right there? That little dot right there. Right? Those are probably her maybe some of her pores. I guess that's what they're called, pores on the skin, right? But no hair. You don't see no hair, people. I don't see no hair. Okay, hold on. What about another magnifying glass? Double up on the magnifying glasses and it comes in clearer. Do you see that? I'm pushing the magnifying glasses in closer to the screen, the camera. Uh-oh, I can see the light on the JVC. I taped it up, but it looks like it's still coming through. Where is it? Still coming through, people. Put my finger over it. Okay, I'm making myself tea or something here. I just seen another one here. So there's my mouse. Where are we looking at? Right here, people. Do you see that? These are indications of her skin wanting to do what bodies do when they're dead. They turn green, they turn blue, and then some of them turn black. And depending on the ambient temperature, in terms of whether it's cold or warm, right, bodies will respond to their environments. If they're warm and humid, not hot and dry will dry them out. But if it's warm, you know, and slightly humid, you know, humidity in the air, that is, they're going to bloat. And that's what ShaMay did. I'm just moving in with the camera. There we go. That's between her fingers. I don't know what that is. It could be like a gauze or something over her skin because it seems to overlap. See? It seems to overlap. I don't know what that is. Definitely something, though. I don't want to scratch up my magnifying glass. What do you think that is? Pull back. Clearly there's something there. But that is a blister with the skin starting to crawl. You can tell when the skin is dying because it likes to curl. Right? Because it's getting ready to slip off. Right? So it curls. It does that. It moves. It's a living organism. It's bacteria. Right? Breathes. You can see it in here. Okay, let's just change the exposure a bit more and see what we get, because that's the whole point of the exercise. We'll focus on there. See, it doesn't go away. I don't know if I want it to go red though. I'm not an expert with this stuff, but we get the idea. What is that? I mean, we know what that is. That's the center point of the skin spoiling, right? Definitely a blister with it starting to, right? This, I don't know. Have to move it around. It's the only thing you can do. You see the beads. Everything up there is nothing. You can't see nothing. You see all that though. You see Paige's glove. You can see what she was wearing. Anything in here, you can't see nothing. Why is that? It's coming back in. Oops. There it is right there. And you can clearly see. You can see it. You can see it. You can see it. Definitely something going on in there. If you notice, this is a different color than what's going on between her fingers. Never did look at her fingers. We've seen that before. Don't know what it is though. My water is boiling. because I have my lights on. Now you're seeing my lights because I'm using a magnifying glass. There we go. Let me go make my tea. Hold on. Okay, I don't remember if that went off or if I turned it off. I just know that it was off. I have my coffee now. So, before I try and work for the next 2 to 5 days, however long it is, to make it presentable to an official lawyer, a criminal lawyer, one at that, I just want to do this. So if you notice here, this here is the same color as this and this. So that tells me, people, that this here are blisters. It's not something going over it. It's actually part of the skin itself. Because if you notice, they're the same color. And again, you can tell when skin is starting to decompose because it likes to start to curl. That's what it does. Because eventually the skin itself just slips off from the weak points. Okay. Oops. You can still see it. Same color. Hold on a minute. Can you see that, people? Look how this is.
Let me guess, you saw Elsie hold it?
Andre, please.
Oh.
Go. There's nothing that you need from me. Go away.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know.
Well, you do know. That's the thing, Andre. Okay, you're just testing your boundaries.
No, I didn't know you were still doing it.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I told you this stuff takes a long time. Children are so patient. Okay. The base on this magnifying glass is so big. So big. I should probably turn off the light behind me. Okay. Let's go closer. Hold on. Let's go to the next picture. I brought it in closer. There's that. It's a little closer. Right. This one I cropped in. If you can see, there's that poke mark, whatever, up in here. Where is it? Right there. They turned off the water on through IV with Joan. I swear on my mother's life. They killed her, people. When she went into long-term care, the doctor came into her room and said, "You've got 1 year to live." And she went in December, and she died in December. And when I was taking Uncle John back and forth every day, I was, looking, right? And I swear, the IV bag didn't move. And the last time we went in, she was so thirsty and wanted water and begging. She couldn't talk. She was just pointing and giving us this look. So we gave her water through a straw. It was too late, though. She died that night. It was pathetic. Fiji women. The government brings in all these Fiji workers to look after the old people. Fiji and places like that. Not just Fiji, but a lot of them are Fiji women. Chinese. Filipino women too. Yeah. And then they phoned us up the next day. And they said, "Come pick up her stuff. Now." And it was freaking snow outside. Right? Middle of winter. Joan died on December 14th. 13th or something like that. 13th or the 14th. I can't remember now. I think it was the 13th. So I had to rush with my car to please them. And they had it all packed up, ready to go. They couldn't get rid of Joan fast enough. Yeah. It's not any place I'd ever want to go, people. Nope. They'd have to strap me down to a bed. You can see that. Because that was a puncture wound. Whether it was when they put the embalming needle into her arm, or maybe she was hot capped in that spot. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, so now you can see. Clearly you can see this skin is starting to spoil because it's curling. That's a signature of skin decomposing. You have your blister, and then it starts to spread out, and then when it gets big enough, dark enough, then eventually the whole skin just slips, right? And then it all just kind of gathers, right? Like take saran wrap, and then what do you get? You get, if this was all saran wrap, and the edges started to curl and do all that, and then eventually it just slips. Right? Okay. Could look at this all day long and what you're gonna get. This is not what the lawyer wants. Although it's important to me. I always see something new. Always see something new. See, the picture itself was cropped and a little more enhanced. Right? Because I wanted to get a little more closer to the imperfections of her skin. Even though they tried to make it look perfect. Doing her makeup and everything. That's not working. Okay, here you can clearly see the center dot. It makes a difference on what side of the magnifying glass I use. Look at this one. This one's nice. It's kind of funny on there, though. Do you see that? I gotta go turn off this light. Hold on. Might make a difference. The less I have to move the camera, the better. You can see the little black dot in there. Now, what would happen if I cropped it one more time? I don't know. I think this is, hold on a minute. I think I should save this one. Maybe, maybe not. You don't take the time to watch these videos and fully understand what's going on. A crop picture is going to be, I don't know, it's going to be hard. You have to walk somebody through the pictures in order for them to fully understand what they're looking at. You see that? See, that's a blister, people. This is a blister. That's staple. Where am I? That's a staple. That little white dot just shines right through, doesn't it? Hmm? Where was it? Sorry. Where was I looking? It's on the finger. That's on the finger. Let me find it. Where is it? It's right there. Pretty sure that's a finger. That's on her finger. Right. No denying that. Now let's change color. But that hasn't. That just got darker. I don't see the finger anymore. There's the beads. So that's how black comes up. Those beads are black. There's the glove. Uh-oh, itchy throat. Hold on. Okay, see? That's on the finger, right? It's on the finger itself. You see? How it comes in. Even if I move. Oops. There it is right there. Hold on. Okay. Where are we? That is magnifying glass on computer screen, camcord right up on the magnifying glass. Okay, so we're just about done with this one. Ain't no denying it. There's that punctured wound, blister. That's another blister coming in, people. Right? You can still see that little dot. Where is it? Right there. Even if I move this, see, it goes with it, it stays, didn't move. You see any hair? No hair. That has a center point too. Hold on. The heat's on. I have to take off 2 sweaters already. Okay. I don't know what I was looking at here. I think that spot is right there. I probably cropped it so I can go like this. Do you see? This is the next picture over. Alright? You know, because then you can do this. I'm not really doing anything here. No. Oh, what am I doing now? No. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. Yeah, well. Okay. Go on to this one. This is now her foot. I've already cropped it. It's looking pretty blemish free. Right, no hair. Do you see any hair on the toes? Hold on a minute. I mean, everybody has hair on their toes, people. No hair. That would be the first thing I would note. I'm just taking a quick poo. It's all pretty smooth, wouldn't you say? So I'm just gonna do this quickly. I'm getting tired already. I should have enough pictures from the things that I've already done to be, or videos, right? To just, how many do you give a lawyer as evidence? Right? How many do you think? 20? 30? Like 10? 15? I don't know. Stop moving around. Why are you in here?
Just grabbing my car.
I'll just do this for a few more minutes. If there was hair anywhere in here, I think you'd see it. I think we'd see it. People have hair on their toes. You know, in these parts. Hair, the purpose of hair on a body is to protect the body, people. That's what it does. It keeps bacteria and germs away from your pores. You know what I'm saying? If you just had open pores and nothing coming out of those pores, it's just an invitation for bacteria to go in. Hair is like a filter. It filters the air, right? Filters germs. That's why we don't get sick very much, unless, of course, you know, you get cut. Then you get an infection. It goes right into your system, right? Anyway. Okay. So, hold on. Right. I'm gonna stop now. So, basically, I have to get ready for court, with or without a lawyer, people. Right? And that's what I'm going to do for the next few days. 4 or 5 days, whatever it is. I'm going to try really hard to just focus on making this a little more presentable. Right? Because you're getting close now, eh? Down to the last month under statute of limitation. But like I said, there is no statute of limitation, I think, around gang stalking. But that's not really what I'm going to court for. That's just a symptom to the problem, right? You know what I mean? It's just a symptom to the problem, people. And I don't think there's a statute of limitation on murder, right? And ShaMay didn't get into that situation until that happened, in terms of, like, going to the hospital and blah, blah, blah. I think, and I'm going to end it on this note, okay? I think the only reason people that they kept her on these machines for so long and tried to, keep the movie theater going, because it was just theatrics, right? It was theatrics with Uncle John, too. I have it written down in my notice of claim with Uncle John. It was theatrical. The nurses, the doctors, they were theatrical, right? They wrote a little script. They have their medical files that they'll give to you, but they also have other files, people, because they were conniving behind Uncle John's back, okay? And they were conniving behind my back, and they were being theatrical about it. And I have proof of that with that British brown social worker screeching at the top of her lungs, "No, no, he's gonna convalescent care or his sisters by any means necessary. Now!" With her sidekick Czechoslovakian blonde hair Amazon woman that couldn't speak English. And when you read how she spoke, because I typed it out, people, because I have the recording, you would be thinking, what the fuck is she working in Canada for if she can't even speak proper English and, write it? If she can't speak it, she can't write it, people. Okay? And she sure enough fuck couldn't speak it very well. And these are the people that are making decisions for people like Joan and Uncle John. And these people didn't do any good for Joan with them turning off the water a year after she came in because the doctor said so, right? Because they needed the bed and they got tired of fucking looking after her, right? They snuffed her out, just like they basically snuffed out Uncle John, but made sure they took his money first. ShaMay's not much different. They took her organs. And because I went in there on the first step, people, on the first step, as soon as I walked in, I looked at her. I said, she looks in Mom. Start looking for needle marks. I want you looking behind her ears. I want you looking in between her fingers, between her toes. She got hot capped. I want the police involved. Where's the doctor? There needs to be an investigation from the get-go, people. And I think that's what the reason was, that they didn't pronounce her so-called brain dead by day 3. Because if they would have pronounced her brain dead by day 3, right, even if they would have taken out her organs, the first thing which would happen would be, organ donation, right? Or, because I was calling for an investigation, if they would have pronounced her dead by day 3, they would have had to taken her body and had it autopsied from a forensic pathologist sense, with the coroner's office involved and the police witnessing it, because it was a murder investigation. Because I started asking from day 1 to get an investigation going. I wanted the doctor to start it. I felt it was the doctor's duty to request an investigation as to how ShaMay was injured. Okay. But they had to hide the fact that they took out her organs. So they let her rot instead. And they were stalling for time, because most people, if not all people, don't ask for an investigation because they'll just accept that, oh yeah, okay. They don't want to, they don't challenge authority, people. We were taught as kids to respect the police and those kind of people, right? So it's in our nature to just be I don't know, accepting of what's being given to us just because. But there's ulterior motive behind it all. Right? Because, Mom comes in, wants an investigation. If we pronounce her too soon brain dead, because normally they pronounce them brain dead by day 2, between day 1 and day 3. Right? And then family members just accept it, and they write in whatever they write into these medical files. I'm sure some of these people's organs are being donated legitimately, but apparently with ShaMay's, they had the organ donation team come in at the last fucking minute, as if they didn't know about ShaMay being on that bed for 9 days. The way it's written into her medical files, it's almost like they didn't know, because when they turned off the machine at so-called whatever on the 19th and pronounced her so-called her death, they were obligated through legislation to call the donation center. So that's what they did. They called them. But of course there was nothing to harvest. So nothing was harvested, because then they wrote it down that she was going for autopsy. But yet the coroner called me on the 28th or 29th or whatever it was and told me to come pick up her body. And when I asked her, how did the autopsy go? Did she have one? And then the coroner said, no, she didn't have one. She's not going to have one. Come pick up your daughter's body. There's no reason for her to have an autopsy. And I started getting angry and was like, are you crazy? Right? Right? You guys said you were going to do this. It's an investigation. You're supposed to do this. Blah, blah, blah. Fuck you. I hung up the phone. I didn't say fuck you, but, she was arguing with me. I said, to hell with this. I said, I can't. I hung up the phone. And then she called me back. And then she tried to play it off like that cop. Oh, well, you misunderstood what I was saying. No, I told her, no, you said come pick up the body. There wasn't going to be an autopsy. Oh, well, there's going to be one now, but, the police not going to witness it, and they've got the body fluids from when she first came in, and, and we'll call you. And then when I told her that ShaMay was embalmed, she completely ignored it, people. She completely ignored it. I told her that ShaMay was embalmed when she called me back months later to tell me, what do you call it? That she had a fentanyl, morphine, and the cocaine in her system, and that the fentanyl was as if it was being monitored in a hospital setting, right? And that there was morphine in her system. But they knew all that, people. They knew that from the very fucking beginning. Because it's written in her medical files. Opiate, fentanyl, and cocaine. Morphine must be the opiate. So they knew. But they didn't tell me until months later. Just like they didn't tell me about the fentanyl until the next day. Even though they knew. Oh, they lie, right? So, anyway, I hope this is over soon. It's not going to be, though. No. But I hope this lawyer that's kind of looking at this stuff takes it serious. I really do. A lawyer will do a good job. Right? Much better than me. A lawyer will do a much better job than me, people. So, I gotta try and figure out how I can make it presentable so that it will be hard for him to refuse. Right? Right? You know, it's a slam dunk. Right? It's a slam dunk. So, we'll see.